So I got this question from, it's actually a very good friend of mine. I've known him for, wow, 40 years, 40 plus years. And he asked me this question. And as I said, it's the wrong answer to the question has caused so much confusion and suffering that I thought rather than just answer it for him, I'd answer it for everybody because it really is extremely important. So I'm going to read the question. So you all know what I'm talking about here. Here's what he asked. Why does the practice of not concerning myself with the outcome or the results feel like I'm being told I'm stuck with what I have and there's no point in pursuing goals because I won't get them anyway? How does the unlimited, unpersonified pure awareness relate contextually to the goals of this body-mind? I've had healings and I've achieved remarkable goals. But as I study more deeply and explore non-duality, I feel like healing and goals are window dressing or shallow pursuits, and I either should not or cannot have achieved them. Should not achieve them or cannot, yeah. Okay, a big one. And its heart is, what happens is that when our normal way of thinking, our normal context, the normal way in which the normal stuff our mind preoccupies itself, the way it interprets and gives meaning to things, when we get exposed to non-dual ideas, non-dual teaching, there's this quite natural tendency for the mind to try to take that information and appropriate it, try to come to some conclusions about non-duality, and what it inevitably does is make this hard separation, this chasm between the dual and the non-dual. Now, if something is really true, and I mean if something is really true, and I don't care what it is, if it's going to be the truth, it's got to be able to explain everything, a comprehensive view of everything. It can't get away with just explaining something away by saying, oh, that's just an illusion. Well, where did the illusion come from? And who's experiencing the illusion? And what's the cause of the illusion? Right? Just don't say, oh, it's an illusion and dismiss it, because it does a huge disservice and it can't possibly be the truth. The truth has got to explain everything. Now, there are elements to the non-dual of learning how to let go of our attachment, our clinging to results, defining ourselves by results. You cannot be a human being and live your life without setting goals, having aspirations, having desires, and those desires wanting to fulfill themselves, right? You can't. It's the nature of human life itself. Every other week now, I get on and I do this because I want to. It's a goal of mine. I'm building the school with Lisa, right? Who's instrumental in the whole thing. We have goals for it, right? We have income goals for it. We have class size goals for it. Now, are those incompatible with non-duality? Right? No, not at all. Where do these goals, desires, aspirations come from? Where do they arise from? Right? We say, I shouldn't have those. Too late. You do. You already do. Okay. So let's not decide whether I should have them or not have them. Just recognize the fact that I do. All right. So what do I do with that? What do I do with a deep desire that pops up for something I want to accomplish in my life? And there's a lot I want to accomplish in my life. I want to alleviate as much suffering from this world as I possibly can, even though I know that the world is only a concept in the mind. So what do you do with that? Okay, well, never mind. Nothing of it matters. Well, of course it matters, right? Yes, it does. To alleviate suffering is the goal of my life. And the ultimate realization of that is the discovery of who one is. But if you do that and exclude your humanity, you've made the fundamental error that most people make when they start on this trek of non-duality. There is no separation between the dual and the non-dual. The dual is the essence of, the non-dual is simply the essence of the dual. Without either, neither exists. The nature of non-duality simply means it is formless. Right? You can't really say it's an it. You can't say it's a he or a she. It's empty. This is why Buddha used the term no self. It's not a person. It's not a thing. It's not an it. It is ineffable. It is indescribable. But because of that, it gives rise, it can give rise to absolutely everything. If the non-dual, the essence of being, God, if you will, the creator of all things, had some kind of shape, some kind of form, some kind of characteristic attributes, then there'd be something it wasn't. There'd be something it couldn't be. There'd be something that would not be possible. But the fact is, anything is possible. So then, when a desire arises, an aspiration, a goal, and what is a goal except a desire, a dream that's got something behind it? It's like, oh yeah, there's energy behind it. There's a direction. Well, isn't that the nature of life itself? So where did they come from? Did you just make them up? We like to think of, oh, that's an ego desire. There's no such thing as an ego desire. The ego is always after the fact. It's interpretive. It attempts to give meaning to that which is naturally appearing. I love to use the example of the circus clown, where the acrobats perform. It's wonderful. The crowd goes to their feet, standing ovation, and the circus clowns come out and take the bow, right? As if they did something. So everything that arises, every desire, every ambition, everything that you're interested in is arising out of the pure non-dual reality that is your true nature. And what is the expression of this true nature is goals, achievements. Now here's the key, right? The thing we have to watch out for is that a goal, a desire, something comes up, gets energy behind it, it starts moving in a particular direction. The limited sense of self wants to grab onto it, give it a meaning that it doesn't inherently have, and try to get something from it, right? So the pure natural desire now starts getting tainted. It starts getting distorted. It starts getting redirected in the wrong direction. And with that comes a sense of clinging, even can be a sense of desperation. See, there's no guarantee that the goal you set out on is going to fulfill itself. We have no guarantee. Our desire, our focus of attention, our skills, our hard work are only one factor in the entire cycle of being here that makes anything happen. You can't control all of the elements. You can only control your own internal world, your relationship to it. So if our goals and our desires and our pursuits become an object of our love, like a child, right? You know, when you're raising a child, you're just devoted to them. You do everything you possibly can for them. But over time, you have to start letting go. My son said to me not long ago, he says, the whole point of being a parent is letting go. They're going to take that step. Suddenly they're going to be jumping off the high dive and go, oh, and you can't say no. Right? In the beginning, of course, you have to protect them for everything, but that's little by little. You kind of put it out there. Our goals, our aspirations are exactly the same. Eventually, you kind of have to let them go. Now, how do you take care of them then? Well, you give them a lot of attention. You give them the focus they need. You give them the nourishment they need. If it's a skill you need to learn, you learn it. If it's somebody you need to contact, you contact them. And you just keep going until there really isn't anything more you can do, and then you let go of it. And you'll either experience the utter joy of its fulfillment, and it may not fulfill itself in exactly the way you envision it, but you'll experience the joy of it fulfillment, or you'll experience the pain and the disappointment of it not fulfilling itself. But the fact is, it will, no matter whether it does or not, right, how much that hurts will be a matter of how much you're clinging to it. And I don't mean, of course it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt deeply. But it isn't a reflection of you. For the ego, everything that happens is a reflection of me. Oh man, I suck. I did a bad job. I shouldn't have done. I should have done this. I should have done that. For the natural tendency is, God damn, I didn't do it. It didn't work. What happened? And then you keep going. You do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Right? Sometimes you won't even see the results of your labor. You're doing it because why? Well, because I'm moved to do it, and it's the right thing to do, and this is what has to be done. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes I just want to do it, and you do it, and you. So I hope I'm covering this enough. Let me look over this. How does the unlimited, unpersonified pure awareness relate with love? For the unpersonified pure awareness, which is formless being, it gives everything else being. Right? So like a mother with a child, the relationship is pure love. Every desire you have is pure love from the point of view of loving awareness. That's what I like to refer to it as, pure awareness, loving awareness. It is not aloof. It is not distant. It is the mother goddess. It's the nurturing mother. It's the womb of all Buddhas. That's Prajnaparamita. The ultimate wisdom that takes you to the other side is the womb, the mother of all Buddhas. That's just so tender and close. Now, part of the process is that some of our pursuits are trivial. A lot of times we don't really hit the goal because our attention is diffused. It's over here and over here. And my God, look, the world we live in today is just like loaded with distractions, right? Focus of attention is key. I saw a study that was really very, very valuable, talking about the nature of genius. And genius has been studied, every which way from Sunday for a long time. And it pointed out that the only characteristic that seemed to be absolutely universal amongst people who have distinguished themselves as geniuses, it wasn't raw intelligence or creativity or special circumstances or education or any of that. It was they had this capacity to focus on something to the exclusion of everything else. It was the capacity to just be completely immersed in such depth that nothing else entered in. That was the characteristic, that all of the focus of attention, all of their energy, and what is focus of attention but love, right? That all of it was focused on one thing, or a very small number of things, but one main thing, right? Because obviously we have relationships, we have stuff we have to do, a living we may have to make. Yeah, there's places our focus has to go, but whatever remains, right, of what is, you could call it your discretionary focus of attention, what you can decide what to do with, where are you putting it? Nisargadatta, after he met his guru, he said that he puzzled over what his guru had told him. But the thing that was unique about him is that, he was a householder. He had 4 sons, a wife. He had 4 different kiosks that he made those little cigarettes, these little cigarettes in the slums of Bombay that he would sell. He ran all of those, right? So it wasn't as if he had the luxury of being a Brahmin that could sit in the temple all day. He said, I gave every spare moment I had to this, to that inquiry. So he devoted himself to that. He didn't take away from the other stuff that he had to do, but what he had that was his, he put all of his energy there, focus of attention. And in 3.5 years, he became one of the greatest sages of all time, right? Which I know you love. So yes, you should, what a horrible word, right? If there's a desire there, you need to nurture it. You need to love it. If you've got a lot of them, well, we realize that there's only so much we can do. There's only so much. Where am I going to focus my attention? In order to be able to do that, the inquiry, this is the non-dual inquiry. Well, who am I? What matters most to me? That's part of the equation. What matters most? Of all these things I can do, which one do I really want to focus my attention on? And then how can I organize myself in such a way that it gets really quality attention? So I can minimize the things that I have to do, the perfunct, the mundane stuff. And with what's left, what do I do with that time? I ponder that. That's the practice. This is a practice. The practice is coming to see that the dual and the non-dual are not two. That's the beauty of non-duality. It's not two. Heaven and earth are not two. The symbology of Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree is that he sat and said, I'm not leaving this spot. And it was the interface between heaven and earth. That's what it represents. And when challenged by Mara, he raised his hand like this to heaven. But on the last challenge, when Mara challenged his authority to even do this, he reached down with his other hand and he touched the earth. The earth is my witness. This intersection between the two, the middle way. Now, you'll hear a lot of non-dual teachers, and they're not teaching the middle way. They're teaching the way of the absolute, as if that's all there was to it. And the only way you can do that is to deny or explain away or diminish in some way the human incarnation. The human incarnation, where did it come from? If this doesn't spring right out of the essence of being, I don't know what does. I mean, look at the miracle of being born a human. The wonder of it, the bewildering mystery of it. It's like, what the hell? Bloody hell. I mean, just stop for a moment and look at anything. Look at a flower grow. Look at you eating food, right? Your breakfast this morning is already brain cells, right? Or a toenail. I mean, what? Where is this all coming from? Right? And when you look at it like that, you just go, wow, I am both the essence and the expression. I am both the river and that floating in the river. I'm the ocean and the fish. And what would the fish be without the ocean? I sit in this unique place of I am the capacity of the universe to look at itself and go, oh my God, what a wonder I am. And so everything we do, every little thing, every little goal, my goal for this afternoon is to finish painting a couple of sawhorses. I have to sand some stuff down, and then I got a butcher block top for the top of my desk, and I'm going to sand that. And I bought some brackets to put up shelves in the room. That's my goal for today, right? And I want to do it. It's a goal, isn't it? Right? Right. After I'm done with this, it's the most important thing for me to do. So that's kind of long-winded. Did I answer it all? I've had healings and achieved remarkable goals. Yeah, you have. And they've been wonderful, right? So what is the problem with that? The non-dual teaching that takes anything away from the value and significance of human experience diminishes human experience. It diminishes what this is about, and it is an incomplete teaching. We have, for some reason, in this human experience, we have to confront suffering. We have to. And this is exactly what you're doing here, right? And this is causing you suffering. Should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Oh my goodness. That's suffering, isn't it? Clarity is not suffering. So you use the suffering as an opportunity to dig further. Okay, what's the cause of this suffering? Well, if I'm of two minds, I'm confused about this. What's the cause of the confusion? Well, I don't really understand this dual, non-dual thing precisely. Okay. Well, then what do I do? Well, I start looking into it. Can it be? Is this really it? If it's just, I just discard all my goals and all my ambitions and all my aspirations, why is it impossible to do that? Why does it cause me so much suffering? Well, maybe that's not the right way to approach it. Oh, okay. Well, let's look at the alternative. What's the alternative? Totally indulging every bit. Well, no, that doesn't work either. What is it that I'm trying to achieve? Well, I'm trying to achieve a balance in life. I'm trying to ease my suffering, the suffering of others. I'm trying to enjoy the pleasures of life and not avoid the pains. Oh, that's the middle way, isn't it? And now suddenly it all starts to flow as this beautiful flow between what we would call the absolute and the relative. The real absolute is that which is aware of both the dual and the non-dual. And how do you put that in words? It's beyond even absolute and relative. It's beyond existence and non-existence. It is the no self, nirvana. I can't even talk about it, right? I can't even think about it. It's just, there's just it. And you're it, because obviously everything is it. It is immanent in all things. Therefore, every goal is him. Just like every leaf on every tree and every stem of every flower is he or she, is that. What is God? Well, right now I'm watching a squirrel run across the grass. That's it. That's God. Not a person, not a personification. That is the unpersonified pure awareness. But it's pure loving awareness. Just absolutely adores its self, because it's not even a creation, because it's not separate from. It never for one moment is separate from.